Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Dimitri Cinema. I'm your host, Dimitri. Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite top 10 movies of all time, Fast and the Furious. Um, I have like a certain amount of movies that I like. That's my all around my favorite that I can watch over and over and over again. And later on, I'm gonna have something where y'all could tell your favorite movies, and you can write in, you know right in, when you call in or whatever have it where you can just tell what your favorite movies of all time is. That'll be pretty fun. Fast and the Furious. Vin Diesel, starring Vin Diesel, plays Dominic Toretto. Paul Walker, who plays Brian O'Connor. Jordana Brewster, who plays Mia Toretto. And Michelle Rodriguez, who plays the Letty, Dominic's girlfriend. You also have Rick Young as Johnny Tran, Chad Langenberg as Jesse, Johnny Strong as Leon, Matt Schultz as Vince, Dominic Toretto's friend, aka Ace Bacon, Ted Levine as Sergeant Tanner, Jaru as Edwin, and then you have Thom Berry as Agent Bilkins. So the movie is produced by Rob Cohen. Um, done a lot of projects. He's a really good director. He directed the first Fast and the Furious, which is, like I said, is my favorite. So it's based. This first of all, I want to talk about the whole setting up the movie. The movie's based in L.A. street racing and on the grounds of L.A., which is unique. Which that's the life story. That's what really goes on with drag racing. It's always in the back ends of the cities, undergrounds. The mysterious parts of the city where people don't really, rock with. So it stars as Brian O'Connor, who's, you know, uh, Paul Walker. He's a cop under, so he goes on assignment as an undercover cop. Tanner sends him on there to pursue a investigation on Dominic Toretto, Vin Diesel, and his crew, who hijacks cars, not cars, they hijack trucks and steal their merchandise and sell it, make the money, and then they put it into their racing cars, which they proceed as street racing, drag racing through the night, and they make triple the money that they made, you know, each individual from the races that they're towards them what they jack the cars for the 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 laptops and all the stuff. So yeah, as it goes on, he starts the investigation, going to Dominic Toretto has a restaurant. Him and Mia has a restaurant that they sell groceries out of and meals out of. They also have a auto shop. It's all in one. So Brian, of course, he goes there and he eats, starts one week he's eating out of there, ordering food. Mia notice he's coming there a lot. So does Dominic Toretto. But in the end, they don't really pay it too much attention. They just notice he's popping up there. So the main common thing is, oh, he likes Mia, Dominic's sister. Mia figures that too. So he's coming in ordering the same thing, the same food, the mahi sandwich, which Mia is not a good cook. So they know something's up with that, sort of. Well, he was doing his investigation. One day he's in there eating, and of course Dominic's crew shows up. Vince, Jesse, you know, Letty, Leon, they all come in, and Vince is in love with Toretto's sister Mia, but Mia doesn't like him like that. You know, this her brother's friend. So while you know they come in and see what's going on, Vince points out, "Hey, man," he looks at Leon like, "Hey, what's going on with this? You know, this guy's been coming in here every day, ordering the same food. He doesn't like the food. He's here for Mia." So of course Vince goes up and approaches him. They get in a fight. Take it out. Well, basically take it
Let's
outside. They get
brawl.
in a fight. Dominic comes out there, has to break it up. Letty's like, Dom, get out there. He goes out there, and of course Vince, as much of Dom has the right and wrong in his heart. Vince is his friend, his long-term friend. So he goes out there, he breaks it up. He's on Vince's side. He breaks it up. He tells Brian, "Hey, don't come around here again. You work for Harry," which you know who Dominic Toretto buys his parts for, and his crew buys his parts for their car, for their drag racing they do at night. Dominic Toretto is Harry's big time customer because he buys spends a lot of money on parts there. And Dominic also is like the king of the drag racing world. Like he wins all the time. He's like the King Kong of racing. You ain't beating him. So he threatens, "Hey, I'm gonna get you fired, for what's going on. Don't come around here again." So he calls Harry, and Harry's like, "Hey, look, man, it's hard finding good help, man. Like I get what you're saying, and I'll talk to him. I'll straighten this out. I'm sorry about that." So Brian's like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "Man, you got to stop this. Dominic's complaining about this, and he spends a lot of money. Every part he touches, all the other racers want it. It's golden. Like you're messing my business up." And he goes, "Well, what do you tell him?" He's like, "What do you think I told him? It's hard to find good help." So that being said, Brian's asking Harry for more NOS. He needs more NOS because he wants to pursue racing at night because he's trying to get closer to Dom. So he knows just going to that restaurant that's not going to cut it. Now he has to race with him in the underground life of street racing. Street racing is what made this movie, by the way. It's what made Fast and the Furious. The key to the story is, you know, my thing of it is stick. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Stick to what it is. That's why I fell in love with this movie. So he goes at night, and he's waiting for Dom. That's when he meets Edwin Jaru, who's not really part of Dom's crew, but he races with Dom at night. He races against him, and he waits for him to pull up. He meets Hector, who's another person that races with them and does street racing deals with him. He's talking to him and Edwin, and then Dom's crew pulls up with their cars, and you know everything's lighting up, and it's an epic moment. So Dom's setting up the race, and of course he's commanding the race because he wins them all. So he's, "Hey, we're gonna do this 3x2, winner takes all." Um, so then that's when Brian's like, "Well, hey, I want to race," and Jesse is like, "Well, just because you got in a fight with Vince, you think you can box? You think you can race with us because you think you can box?" He goes, "Yeah, he knows I can box. So I basically beat him up. He'll tell you." So uh, Dominic is like, "Well, what do you got to offer?" He says, I don't have the money. but I my I offer my title for my car. And he goes, "That's your car?" He said, "Yeah." So they check it out, look at what he has under the hood, because it's a weird feeling. The guy putting his car up and not money. Something ain't right. So they check it, and everything looks legit. Whatever. See what he has under the hood. So he goes, "All right, well, you're in." So they start the race, and of course, Dominic wins. So as the race, is over, Leon reports cops are coming. So then the cops will start shooting all over the street, and everybody has to scatter at this point. So now Dominic's on a run. He goes, parks his car in the garage, comes out, and start, walking and trying to flee as if, he ain't got nothing to do with the race. And of course, the cop sees him, and they know something suspicious about it, so they call him. Then he takes off running, which is what a criminal will do. So he's running, trying to get away from him. They're chasing him, and then finally Brian shows up. Brian O'Connor shows up and pulls up, and it's like, "Hey, get in." So they start leaving or whatever, and Brian gets away from the cops, but then they end up on the wrong side of the town. So the whole knock with this is Johnny Tran and Dominic had a deal. Johnny Tran is Dominic's like arch arch enemy ops, whatever. But they're cool because they had a deal that went they made a deal that went sour in the past, which is Dominic ended up sleeping with his Johnny Tran's sister also, and then that didn't go too good. So the deal was, hey, you stay on your side of town, I stay on my side of town. Neither one of us, cross paths. We keep it like that, keep it mutual. So they end up on his Johnny Tran side of town because they get lost in that whole cop chase. So Johnny Tran shows up. Sorry, Johnny Tran shows up and basically saves. Um, I mean, he comes through and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing at the side of town?" And you know, Dominic Toretto's kind of like, "Hey, you know, we got lost." He goes, "Well, I thought we made a deal. You stay away, I stay away." He said, "I'm sorry, man. What you want me to do?" So he's like, "All right." He's like, "Listen, I'm gonna let you guys go, but I'm gonna see you in the desert." You know, and he's like, "Whose car is this, by the way?" So Toretto's like, "That's his." Oh no, Brian goes, "That's his Toretto's car." He goes, "That's a nice car." He goes, Toretto goes, "I didn't take delivery yet." He said, Johnny Tran's like, "Well, it's nobody's car." So they pull off and they leave. But then a few seconds later, they circle back around. Oh, well, the deal is, hey, you stay on that side, I stay on this side. But we cross paths. If I'm letting you go, I'm not gonna let you go just like that. Because you did, break the deal. You on my side of town. So what does he do? He shoots the car that has Brian's car that has Nas in it and blows it up. Now they gotta walk back. It's been Brian's like, man, what's that all about? He goes, it's a long story. He said, well, we got a long walk home. He goes, a deal that went sour between me and him. Plus, I made the mistake by sleeping with his sister, which is big mistake, big mistake. So they get back to the house, uh, Dominic's house. He invites Brian in for a beer. Vince sees it. Vince gets upset. Vince like, well, you bring the Buster here and all this stuff. And Dominic's like, hey, he came back to get me. All of y'all left. You know what I mean? The cops is scattering around. I'm the biggest threat here. they're looking for me. They got their eyes on me because I'm, huge with the drag racing, and they're suspicious with the whole robbing the trucks situation. None of y'all came back to get me. All y'all just left. So he's like, the bus didn't just come back and get me. The bus brought me all the way back. Then he gives him Vince's beer, which is real funny. I thought that was pretty funny. So, he's talking to Mia, or Brian's talking to Mia and getting to know Mia a little bit. And Dominic's like, hey, by the way, you owe me a 10-second car. So as it goes on, the cops pull Brian over the next day and they're talking to him about the investigation that he's doing. Like, so what is going on? What you find out? What's happening? Tanner's all in down his jaw about this. Um, and he's kind of like, hey, I need some time or whatever. And I'm not sure it's him. Johnny Tran's got a lot to do with stuff going on in the street world. So he's like, we want Toretto. So now at this point, they are, you know, Brian's, you know, part of the crew at sort of Toretto's drag racing crew. So Brian brings in a car, which is beat up. Just, he just goes to, I guess he went to the junkyard and found some kind of race car, and brings it back to Toretto. He's like, "Look, you want a 10-second car? I brought you this car. We can fix it up, work on this together, and we can turn it into a 10-second car." And he goes, "We can either race it across the finish line, or we can tow it across the finish line." And Toretto's like, "You can't even tow that across the finish line. That's how bad that is. But hey, you brought back a car. We'll fix it. We'll work on it together." So Brian gets to know the crew more, gets to know Jesse, realizes Jesse and his ADHD, and you know sees he could have went to IT, and Jesse's very talented at structuring cars together, and you know he's good with the computer as far as like just putting them and putting parts together, mapping out how this car would look, and he's like the creativity, the smart guy. So he gets closer with them, and he start dealing with his sister. They start dating. Um, right before they go on a date, at some point they're talking, and Vince, they're all hanging out together, and Vince is just kind of like, "Hey, I can't, you staying in this whole family thing, but I'm gonna expose you, and I'm gonna throw you back on the streets where you belong, buddy." And Mia's like, "Vince, what's the name of that place you wanted to take me to on a date?" And it's like two something. She's like, "Yeah." Until she looks at Brian, and goes, "Well, you can take me there." That was pretty funny. That's an iconic moment too. Funny iconic moment. You can take me there, and 7 o'clock Saturday night, whatever. So Vince is pissed now. Whatever. Oh, he's really mad. So they go out on the date, and of course they sleep together. And they also setting up to move in on Johnny Tran or whatever. So Vince has, very suspicious about Dominic Toretto. I mean, Brian O'Connor. He's telling Dominic, "Hey, we need to follow this guy." They end up doing that, and they end up catching him trying to sneak and check out Johnny Tran's auto shop and all the cars and stuff they got going on. So of course they catch him, they knock him out, And when Brian wakes up, he's looking just Toretto and Vince, and he's like, Toretto's like, "Hey, Brian, now's the time to be careful what you say." Vince is like, "He's a cop. I told you he was a cop." They have a gun. Vince is pointing a gun at him, and they're just kind of like Dominic asks him them questions. Are you a cop? And he's like, "No." He said, "Listen, I can't lose. You know, no more race. I owe you a 10-second car. So if I have to go through and look at everybody's car in these races, that's what I'll do to get to it. Because we all know I can't lose again." So Dominic's like, back of his head, he's suspicious about that, but he goes ahead and trusts him. So then they go check out Johnny Tran's auto shop, and they see you know, what's going on with there. Then Jesse gives signal, hey, Johnny Tran's coming in. So they hide because they were just looking and see what they had going on in their shop, which they had a lot of missing engines that they were waiting on for Race Wars, a race that goes on in the desert, big time race that goes on in the desert. And they end up kidnapping this one guy who promised them the engines, but he never gave it to him. So they're beating him up. They beat him up, and then question him, where we don't have any engines. You see this? So then Brian starts getting more suspicious after that, and start letting the police force know, hey, I think it's Johnny Tran. I'm pretty sure he's got something to do with this. They still think it's Toretto, but they go along with it. So then they end up taking down Johnny Tran and realizing he did have a lot of laptops and DVDs and stuff like that, but they were all purchased by him. So they had to let him go because they had no proof. Well, now they're on Toretto. Tanner's like more than ever on Toretto. He's like, yo, listen, your career's on the line, buddy. Bring me Toretto, or that's you. So now it's bothering Brian O'Connor. Brian's like, all right, I got to figure this out some way or the other. I got to get it closer to Toretto. But now Brian's having like, we all are human on this earth. So you can be an infiltrator as much as you can. When you're around love and somebody show you love, you end up falling for that person. Whether it's a friend, whether it's a woman that you nothing like, now you like her like that. Like, you know, Brian never had that brotherly love, and Toretto showed it to him. Like, I'm gonna show you what a ride or die friend is. I'm gonna show you what love is. I'm bringing you into my family. Ryan's getting a taste of that now. It's like in too deep. When Omar Epps fell with LL Cool J, it's like you're in too deep in it in the investigation. Now you're part of it. Well, that being said, they go out to eat. The car's fixed up that the 10-second car that Brian had brought to Toretto. They go out to eat. They're testing the car out that they fixed up. By this time, the car's fixed up. And Toretto knows something's going on with Brian. He's pretty quiet. So he's kind of like, hey, you know, you hadn't eaten your food. What's going on, man? Something's bothering you. He goes, no, it's nothing bothering me. He goes, something's clearly bothering you, buddy. I know you. We've been around each other long enough now for me to know something's bothering you. Brian's like, look, man, I wanna know, I want to in on what you guys are doing. You guys ain't just racing and paying for all these parts on these cars to race and make all this money by just selling groceries out your restaurant. That ain't happening. You got something going on, and I went in on it. You brought me in this far. You claim I'm family. Well, come on. I want a piece of it. If we friends, bring me in on it. So Toretto's like, look, how about this? We're gonna race in race wars. I'm gonna make money off of you. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna give you a ticket to race wars. I'm gonna see how you do. Then we'll talk. Now here's race wars. It's a race that's in the desert, big time race in LA, that's in California, big time California drag racing in the desert. Everybody's there, whatever. It's like the Super Bowl of race and drag racing. They so people were racing or whatever. So it starts off Jesse is starting to race Johnny Tran. And he's racing Johnny Tran for tags for his car. So Brian's looking like, hey, don't do this. I guarantee you got more than $100,000 in that hood. Don't do it. Of course, Jesse's HDHD, whatever, he does it anyway because he's just loose like that. He loses, and now he's scared. Now he just rides off. So Johnny Tran's looking like, where's he going? So then he circles around and stops and goes up to Toretto and is like, hey, what's up, man? Like, what's going on with your guy? Where's he going? So Toretto's like, oh, he's going to the car wash. Sorry again. He's going to the car wash. And he's like, go fetch my car. And that's a no. You don't say that to a 187 criminal. Go fetch my car. It's like, man, listen, we ain't on your block no more. You know, you can't just talk to me like that. Like, so as he's Toretto's pissed off about that, now Johnny Tran goes, the cops came and invaded my house and, took, arrested me in front of my family and accused me of stealing and doing all this robbery and this and that. And you know what? You told on me. Another thing you don't do to a criminal, 187, you don't tell him to crash your car, you don't call him a narc. And that's what he did. And Toretto knocked his eyebrows off. Next thing you know, they're pulling him off of Johnny Tran. So there goes one of the biggest fights in the desert. So now, end of the night, Toretto and his crew gets the crew together. They got to go do that last job of carjacking, um, carjacking the trucks. Toretto's telling everybody this is the last we do for months. But of course, Mia's trying to stop him because she's tired of it. She's like, "We got everything we need. Why you leaving out? Why And he's just like, don't chill. I'm paying the bills. I'm taking care of us. Dad's gone. This this will be the last job for a long time. Let me go." So she's pissed off. She's crying. Now he goes in the middle of the night with his crew to go take care of that job. Brian sees it. Brian waits and he goes up to her. It's like, "Where's your brother going? Where's Dominic?" And Mia's like, "I don't know. I don't know." He's like, "Where's Dominic?" She's like, "I don't know, Brian. Why you bother me about that?" He said, "Listen." He had to say something to get attention now. He goes, "I'm a cop." She looks at him like, "What?" Da, 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 da. He said, "I'm a cop." So she's like, "You SOB." Now she's mad. It goes from crying, scared, but her brother, now she's pissed. Nice news to drop on top of somebody that's trying to stop their loved one from going out and basically almost killing themselves anyway on a job you know you scared they're gonna do. Now you tell them you're a cop. So he says, if you don't help me, man, one thing that your brother don't know and his crew don't know is with these hijackings on these vehicles and these trucks, law enforcement has came down on them, and now they're giving them permission to carry, and they're giving them permission to kill. So if they get caught up in something, and these trucks are going to be armored, whether they have somebody else in the truck with them, with the, armed. Either way, they're going to be armed. So if you care about your brother and you care about Vince, you care about Leon, you care about Letty, you care about Jesse, whatever, you're going to help me. You need to help me stop them. I need his number. So they pull off in the night to go stop him. She gives him his number, and he's calling. Brian calls, the force for them to track it. So now they're going to try to stop them. Now it's in the daytime, and they're driving, trying to jack this truck, and everything that could go wrong starts going wrong. Vince is like the number one operator as far as shooting with a grappling gun to the truck. He's in charge of that, and he jumps onto the truck normally, and he knocks out whoever's the driver, and he gets in the truck, and they pull the truck over. Well, this one doesn't go like they wanted, and he jumps onto the truck, and now he's looking up, and there's a big barrel shotgun staring him down in the face. He ducked, and he, of course, he's getting shot at. This guy's trying to blow his head off, so he ends up shooting him in the side, and the wiring he ends up getting tangled into the wire onto the truck. So at this point, you know, Toretto's trying to do everything he can. Now they go from trying to jack this truck to saving Vance. Letty tries to help, and the truck driver knocks her car over, just like a 380 in the air. Now she's messed up, and Dominic's like, "Look, tell Leon, go get Letty. Go check on Letty. Make sure she's all right. I'll get Vince off the truck." Leon has to go back and get Letty. She's fine, but Vince isn't. So now Dominic's trying to get Letty, I mean, Vince off the truck, and the driver's he's pissed. This is a one pissed truck driver. You don't want to mess with this dude. He blows Dominic tires off. Now Dominic's car is on the side of the road. Now he can't do anything. Now Vince is just stuck on that truck with wire bleeding, blood glass, and everything. Here comes Brian and Mia. Brian is more equipped for this kind of stuff than Dominic Toretto. Dominic's a drag racer, the king racer. He can beat anybody. But when it comes to like, uh, racing, um, you know, doing like overnighters, doing like, basically like wheel guy, whatever. That's more Paul. That's more of Brian. Brian. So Brian's on the task now, but he needs Mia to help him. So she takes the wheel, and Brian jumps onto the truck, untangles Vince, get him off the truck, almost gets his head blown off. But of course, he ends up getting Vince off the truck safe and to the car, and he jumps into the car before he gets shot at. Now they go back where Toretto is, and everybody meets up at where Letty's car got wrecked. So they're trying to, you know, wipe up some of the blood and put pressure on it. So Brian's like, "Hey, we got to get him to the hospital quick, or he's gonna die from losing all this blood. So we got to do something." So Toretto's just looking, and he's like, he doesn't know what to do. So Brian calls in his agent number, and orders a helicopter to come to take, you know, a suspect to the hospital. And while he's saying agents, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Toretto's looking at him like he wants to choke the soul out of him because now he realizes he's a cop. So all his anger and emotions is coming out. So he's like basically turning into the Hulk at this point. But then he has to pull himself together because he's like Brian's like, hey, we gotta get him to the hospital. So he stops and pulls his stuff together and doesn't proceed to knock his block off and kill him. And the helicopter comes in, pulls Vince up, takes him to the hospital. He's gone away. Now, Leon, Letty, Mia, and Toretto all get in the car and leave. They get to the house. Now Brian's following them because now he has to arrest Dominic. This is his job. This is what we've been working on. Now that they all know every cat's out the bag, now he has to do his job. So now he goes to, with force, hey, put your hands up. You're going to jail. So Dominic's like, hey, move your car, man. I got more serious stuff to do. He's like, listen, don't make me do it. If I have to, I'll shoot. He said, well, shoot. He said, listen, Jesse's out there. He owes Tran papers on his car. If I don't find him before they do, they're gonna kill him. He was like, he did. We all he has. He doesn't even have anybody like that to help him. So Brian's not trying to hear that. He's like, listen, man, it's just I gotta take you in. So he's like, move your car. So here comes Jesse, his old confused ADHD ASS comes up. He's like, oh, hey, Toretto, Dom, I don't know what I did. My dad's gonna kill me. You know, Dom's like, what was you thinking, man? Why would you raise Johnny Tran? You know he has, you know, what are you thinking? He said, I don't know, man. I need help. And the next thing you know, here comes Johnny Tran and his cousin. And they just start shooting. Now everybody knows the duck except for Jesse. Dominic jumps in the bushes. Brian jumps in the bushes. Hell, even Mia jumps in the bush. Jesse just standing there looking crazy and gets shot up. Jesse's gone. Now Brian has to shift from arresting Dom to go catch these guys and go get them. So he gets in his car and he leaves. He tells Mia to call 911. Then Dominic's holding Jesse because this is like his little brother, his family. Motions is going. Now he's kind of like, hey, she's like, Mia's looking at him like she knows he's about to do something crazy. She knows he's at the top of his, like, this is it. Dom's about to go crazy. You can see it in his eyes. You can see the look. You can see the bloodshot eyes. You can see just the pissed off that's in his face. He gets up. He start walking towards the thing that he was the most scared of. His Dodge Charger, Challenger, and it was one of them. He called it like the death something. Last time he was near that car, it almost killed him, and I think it killed somebody else or whatever. He tells the story about it early in the movie. He's so mad he takes that car and leave and go chasing after Johnny Tran with Brian. Well, he ends up taking his cousin out. Now it's just Brian and Johnny Tran chasing, going after. Brian ends up taking them down, shoots him. Johnny Tran falls down. Brian's like, call the cops. He sees Dominic sitting there waiting on him. Dominic pulls off. So Brian gets in his car and he leaves and follows Dom. They get to the light, and Dominic's like, "Hey, he used to drag race back in high school, near this railroad. When the light turns green, I'm going." So this is pretty much like their brotherly brotherhood final race with each other. I'm leaving and I'm also escaping. They race, and Dominic pretty much is about to win on this one too. But he's not paying attention, and the next thing you know, a train comes and hits Dominic and flips his car, worse than Letty's car got flipped. Now he's down. So Brian gets out to go check, make sure he's okay. And of course, he helps him out of the car. Dominic's tough. He's strong, man. You know, he's a tough guy. He gets out. Now he's looking like he knows it's over. Like, okay, I know you're gonna take me in. I hear the cops coming, cop cars coming. I guess this is the end of it. Uh, One of the main focals on this movie is love carries love. Introduce love to love, and love will bust away. Dominic introduced love to Brian and showed him what a true brother is, what real brotherly love is, what real family is. Brought him in, even though Brian was an infiltrator and he's a cop, and the goal was to take him down. He fell for him. He couldn't do it in the end. So surprisingly, he gives Dom the keys, and Dom's looking like, "What? You you know what you're doing?" Brian goes, "Yeah, I owe you a 10-second car." One of the most iconic moments of movie history. I look at it as, you know, a lot of life lessons in this. People can take you in as family, even though you're out to get them, or you're suspicious in them. You don't really like them, but then you can fall for them once you see what real love is. Once they show you love, it changes both sides. So, Fast and the Furious is one of the most iconic movies of all time. My favorite drag racing movie of all time. Rob Cohen, I think he did a really amazing job. Um, Vin Diesel, Paul Walker made that movie, that franchise. Rest in peace to Paul Walker, but that's one of my top 10 movies of all time. So, you know, write into the comments. Let me know what you think. My next one will be on Spider-Man, Brand New Day. I'll talk about that coming up. But you guys have a good weekend, and see you soon. Subscribe also. Thank you.